that cheap in general, because unfortunately right there, we just got a very bad pattern. Oh boy, it happens. Unfortunately, the Wii U VC and the Wii VC are not ideal ports to speedrun this game from my personal experience. But anyway, just to give everyone a heads up, this is the difficulty we are going to be playing. I will be taking some water every now and then after we clear rounds, just to make sure we get make sure that we keep that throat hydrated for the rest of the run. So anyway, the difficulty's on expert. We do have extra joy set on a button for easy access, so we don't have to try to mash jump and attack at the same time. So anyway, this game does take place sometime after the events of Final Fight 1, probably by 2 years, I think, according to Haggar's bio. Anyway, we're back to doing this. So this game was made in 1993. It's the official sequel of the first game. And we're going to be trying to jump a whole lot with Haggar. Now, technically, you don't have to keep the barrels intact or anything like that, but it does set up some despawns in some cases, and you can also do some enemy management a little bit easier. Anyway, I've been running this game since 2014. Expert difficulty is actually a pretty interesting topic because of the fact this was the first difficulty I started doing. And it is not a very easy one, even with getting the full ending. So we're going to be using Haggar's jumping for most of the mobility. Believe it or not, in this difficulty, Haggar's jump attacks are actually more stronger than his punches. Ooh, got them all. Nice. Very nice indeed. But they only deal like 1 point extra damage. That's pretty good if you're going to set up throw damage, that is. And that's pretty good. Because when you combine the full total of your headbutts with jump attack damage, that 1 or 2 points actually adds much of a difference. So for here, we're not going to break this crate because we're going to set up a despawn coming up in a bit. Now, one of the downsides about playing the Wii U VVC versions is that unfortunately the game is pretty difficult in terms of the frame inputs. So I would be throwing punches a lot more faster if it wasn't for that, obviously. Now we're also going to do an attack called Chain Joys, which is where we put the extra joy in place of the final hit of our chain. So that adds like 10 extra damage. In Maki's case, she'll probably hit for 25 if the enemies get hit by the sweet spot, that is. And unfortunately, my controller just decided to not give me my ideal setup. We're going to have to deal with it, because if we were doing this in a marathon, we don't have much of a choice. Alright, we're going to set up a despawn right here and hopefully get Scott out of the way. Now, there is a mech coming up right after this one. And once he's down, we're going to be moving forward. So, expert difficulty is probably the most difficult out of the entire game. Not only because you have to deal with all the enemies, but you also have to... Also, many of your attacks against certain enemies are reduced. Ooh, not bad. Getting these grouping pretty down, despite not being very good at it. Now, you do have to watch out with the Roberts and Leons, because these guys love to leap at you, unfortunately. Now, we're going to keep ourselves 1 plane above Elias, and then we're going to do this trick. Now, it is possible for Haggar to do an infinite on these guys, but the real problem is that these guys can go right through them if you're not careful. Thankfully, I already know the damage formula for most of these guys. Well, just about, except for the expert difficulties. Unfortunately, the Atlases and the Johnnies are probably the most difficult enemies to fight, unfortunately. Aside from the Andoris. So right now our damage is pretty normal, but it's going to change by the time we get into round 3, unfortunately. So So anyway, we're going to be coming up to 1-1. And he pretty much racks up a large amount of difficulty right here. We're going to position ourselves right here and try to hopefully not let 1-1 get any more offense. Oh man, I was about to say, did I just beat him? Darn it. That was almost a pretty good 1-1 fight, but at least the good news is we managed to prevent Andori Jr. and Elijah from appearing. So we're going to skip this cutscene right there. My apologies for not talking there because I had to focus there. Bosses, except for Philippe, do not take full damage, so we do have to be very careful when fighting these guys on expert difficulty. Now, I could go for Infinites against Atlases. That could be a little bit of a tricky conundrum to deal with, because those guys are pretty painful to deal with. There goes the Andori Jr. And there's also two Joes that appear here. So we're going to wait for them to throw their fire bombs. We're going to try to set up a despawn here. Hopefully get rid of these guys pretty quickly. Ooh, really got all three of them. Okay, shame on you, Elias. Now, believe it or not, Haggar does have a large amount of attacks that deal very high damage. Probably more so than most of the characters in this game. But a lot of them get heavily nerfed in expert difficulty. Roughly by almost a half. So we do have to be careful when fighting them. And unfortunately, the Andoris get pretty strong as we progress throughout the entire game, so you probably won't see me do a whole lot of infinites on them and just wait until we get to that final health bar. So anyway, that's pretty much the first part of round 2. We're going into the next part right here. Darn it, I meant to do a backwards leap. Now, as long as you're holding another direction outside of forward, you'll do a chain throw, which is pretty good in some cases. Nice try, Andori, but that's not gonna work. Yeah, they definitely love to rip through your defenses and deplete your health. Unfortunately, enemies in this game, in this difficulty, hit pretty hard. Ah, I meant to grab him, and he wound up breaking through that. Yeah, it's very difficult for me to do infinites on enemies. Especially in multiple groups. I have more success for beating them one-on-one, as opposed to fighting them in packs. So anyway, once you get through this pack, we're going to be going up here. Now, this is not going to stop Jack, of course. Oh, that almost took out that Elijah. But anyway, once we get through here, we're going to be going after this Elliot right here. And the last 3 enemies are going to be Grandpa Andori, as well as a regular Andori, and a Scott. Now we're setting up what I call a vortex trap right here. Normally you can't really set up vortex chains in this game unlike you do in Final Fight 1, but in this game, as long as you're near a wall with Haggar, you can basically attack your enemies and then perform throws as long as you're facing your back to the wall at least. But anyway, we're moving on to the next area. We're going to set up another despawn right here for Lucky. Now this crate's going to set up a despawn for Johnny, but we want to do that what we just did right there to eliminate that Scott. Ooh. Nice try, Leon. But you're not having any victory today. So we got weapon users. Normally there would be marks and some weaker enemies. But here on expert difficulty, we deal with these guys instead. So anyway, we don't want to defeat these guys too early, because if we defeat them too early, they would pretty much spawn. We'd have to deal with the Elix. We don't want to be dealing with that. Right, let's keep these guys up here. Yeah, I'm mashing like crazy, and yet I can't really do it for the life of me, because I'm playing this on the Wii U version, and unfortunately, frame storage is pretty bad in this game. That's always going to be the concept of everything, at least on this run. It's not like I don't have a SNES, it's just I can't really afford it right now. But anyway, once we get right here, if your health's pretty good, you don't want to break that case right here, and we're going to force these guys to come out in small batches. Yeah, these guys have pretty much the same amount of health as the ones for easy on round 6. We'll be picking up this barbecue on this next area once we beat these guys. And once we get through here, we'll pick up this barbecue and go straight to fighting Freddy. Freddy can be infinite with Haggar, but the real problem is that it's a very difficult process. So we're gonna have to play a little bit of chicken, pretty much, with Freddy here. So luckily, Freddy doesn't really go after us all the way, unlike the Andoris in the first game did. But anyway, Freddy is pretty much a Andori 2.0, pretty much. Just a little bit of a cosmetic change. Man, Freddy's aggressive today. So there's other ways you can fight Freddy rather than doing it in infinite. One thing you do have to watch out with him is that he's got a rising knee attack. And you can also do chain throws too. You do want to save your hands for a little bit later for infinite, so it's probably not a wise idea to be doing infinites all the time on expert difficulty. Especially with those freaking Andoris. Those guys are like trees in this mode. Pick up this Tonfa, then we're gonna break this 5 times. It's pretty weird though. Sometimes I can break that car pretty fast, and then sometimes it just doesn't happen. But anyway, that strat was discovered by Nobleboy77, by the way. Anyway, we're moving on to Holland. This is where the difficulties will start picking up. And we got landmines, which will cause a lot of input lag and everything, so we do want to make sure that there is one scene coming up in a while that has this issue. Ah, I thought I was away from him. Yeah, if they're too close to the edge, you want to move away from them. That's a good benefit of using Haggar's grabbing ability. Yes, he can move enemies while he's doing that. Get over here as we go to the go part, and we're going to probably do the best we can to hold off these enemies. Now, we're going to use the landmines to get rid of most of them. As well as get rid of the input lag, all the lag that would come up too. At least we didn't get blown up there. We're going to use the landmines to weaken most of these enemies, especially the Andoris. The Andoris take way too long to whittle down with infinites. So anyway, this part's going to probably take up a large amount of time. We are going to whittle these guys down pretty quickly. And of course, we do have to watch our backs, obviously, because we got enemies coming right at us. Yeah, because that Ellie wanted to get right up to me, obviously. Yeah, these Andoris take up a lot of heads to whittle down. Well, at least we were able to get those two grouped together for that finish. So anyway, that box is what I call the 25%, 75% box. 75% of the time, there is hardly any large recovery food items, and 25% of the time, you do get those food items. Not all the time. Especially not on every playthrough. But anyway, once we wipe out this whole group of enemies, we're going to go up here, and we're going to hold up once we regain control of our character, because we do have Roberts and Leon's going to probably leap at us, so we do have to be careful with that. Let's see what they do here. Let's get them cornered to the wall here. Oh, nice try, Robert. That ain't happening. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more Elix in expert difficulty. Also, another benefit by pinning the Andori to the out of bounds area is that he won't be able to attack us. So once we wipe out these two, we're going to move forward. This will buy us some time until all the enemies start coming over. But they will break that barrel and all of them will start piling up. Ooh. That Leon decided to go to business for himself, obviously. Ooh! Yeah, if I had more health, I probably would have countered that with a lariat, obviously. Yeah, it's very difficult to get a lot of stuff going on with this version because of the input lag and the frame storage. You probably won't have much problem if you're playing this on the SNES. I really wish this game was already out on the Switch already, because I would like to see how that performs. The problem is, we just don't know if it's going to be coming out or not. Come on, Capcom, please put a collection or this on the Switch Online. And like I said before, you do have to be careful with dealing with the Elex. We're going to keep that barrel intact because that's going to set up a despawn a little bit later. So anyway, we're taking on the Andori trees right here. And we'll start pulling them that from here on out. Because they take a lot of knockdowns to bring them down. Please cooperate, game. Yeah, I tried to power out of there. And that did not go the way I wanted it to. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, we're going to be going up here. We're going to break those barrels. So we can force all these guys out at once. Any more comers? Yeah, I'll probably have to take an intentional death. This is kind of somewhat of a normal thing that happens on expert difficulty, especially on this stage. I mean, I've gotten better over the years, but it is just pretty difficult to fight the Andoris and Elex at the same time. Not to mention, there's going to be more instances where we're going to be dealing with the Andoris and Elex coming up on the next round. So we're going to keep these guys out here, and then just wipe them all out. It's going to be problematic once we get into the round 5 and 6, when their HP starts really skyrocketing, and their defense becomes more harder to deal with. Alright, we're going to try to sub a despawn if we can achieve that, that is. Fortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get it, unfortunately, but it is possible to set up a despawn with that group. going to be dealing with the weapon users. Yeah, I don't want to be fighting Endori just yet. Yeah, believe it or not, your spinning pile driver with Haggar also acts as a defense as well. So if you got enemies charging at you from both sides, you could do a spinning pile driver in a neutral jump and basically knock all those enemies that approach you down. So anyway, we're coming up to Bracken, probably one of the more powerful bosses in the entire game aside from Philippe. Oh, he threw me! I was gonna set a throw up there. Yeah, we're gonna be having some problems with Leons. We got 4 of them to deal with in addition to that Atlas and a Joe coming up. Oh, I should have kept that firebomb intact. Yeah, let's just get rid of these guys and focus on beating up Bracken here. But yeah, Bracken has a pretty huge move list in compared to his 2 colleagues of his, also known as the 3 Giants, pretty much. But yeah, if you're getting overwhelmed by the enemies, just wipe them all out before fighting Bracken, or at least on this difficulty. Yeah, and here I thought I had enough to wipe him out. but anyway, that was somewhat of a decent Bracken fight, even though we did take a lot of losses on lives. But then again, that's what you expect from expert difficulty. Anyway, we're going to pick up this one up right off the gate. Try to set up this despawn, because we want to get rid of that Atlas, if we're lucky enough. And we did get rid of him. Yeah, you can definitely tell attacks are getting weaker now in many instances. I don't think so, Atlas. Wow. I meant for a special, and I wound up getting a punch instead. Anyway, now that we got rid of that group, this game does have a rank system, but it really only affects the stage in general. So we do want to be pretty quick on finishing this stage pretty quickly. Now, if you can bait that Atlas into doing that palm thrust, you can basically set up a throw, obviously. Alright, we're going to do the infinite here on Endori off bounds, so that he doesn't give us any problems. Don't be surprised if I drop the infinite here. I mean, we are I am trying to mash fast, but as you can definitely tell, it takes forever just to wipe down his health. And that takes care of round 4. Or maybe I should say 4-1 in truth. My apologies for that. But anyway, now that we've gotten past that area, we're going to go into the rooftops, and this is when the fighting gets pretty fierce. Because we deal with most of the more stronger Mad Gear members, and they're not slouches. So unlike their common counterparts, they take quite a bit of hits to bring down. Oh, wait! Why did my jump not go through? Yep, this is a perfect example of frame storage coming into play. Yeah, my hand's already starting to hurt already. That's not surprising. Technically, this is why I take easy mode over expert for the most part. As well as find other methods to whittle down these enemies pretty quickly. So when we get up here, we're gonna do that and hopefully not get hit by the Endori. Nice try, Elec. Yeah, we're whittling down this Endori Jr. in the meantime. We got more Elecs coming up after this one, obviously. You can definitely tell I'm trying to save my hands for a little bit later with the Infinites. Yeah, he was going for that one, obviously. Oh. Man, these guys love charging, obviously. I don't know how I made it through that one, but we got through. So we just need to beat one of these enemies and force the Joes to start coming out. Ah, took a death right there. That's a bummer. But anyway, we're going to take the upper part and stay safe. Wipe out all the enemies that are still left to deal with. Come on, man. That is ridiculous. I meant to do a body splash on that Joe, and he didn't want, and I didn't have enough reach. Anyway, now that we've gotten past that part, we're going to pick up this barbecue. Then we're going to fight Philippe here. Let's see how this fight goes. Hopefully we can keep Philippe pinned. And no sooner do I say that, he breaks loose. Whoa, he went for that slide. I don't think so, Philippe. Somehow I managed to get through that without dying on that fight. But yeah, whenever, since I can't do, since I'm playing this on the Wii U VC or the Wii VC, I try to make sure I don't go for the infinite because Philippe can easily break out of that pretty easily, unfortunately. So anyway, we're coming up to my least favorite bonus stage in the entire series. We have flaming barrels, and we don't know when they're going to be going on or off. Darn it. Yeah, we're not going to break them in time. Darn it! No bonus points, but that's fine. That's fine. Alright, we may not have gotten the bonus points, but we're still going to go strong. So anyway, we're on the pre-ultimate level, so we're going to make our move here. So yeah, basically all the common enemies, the Elecs and the Acrobats, take normal damage, pretty much, on expert difficulty. And of course, you do have to watch out for all the shenanigans they do, of course. Yeah, we got an Endori coming up after those three. So yeah, we gotta deal with another Endori here. That means we gotta whack away on his health. Yeah, Hugo is pretty notorious adversary to fight in the Final Fight games, even though his name's not mentioned on here. He only gained an actual name until Street Fighter 3. Whew, that took forever. Alright, we're gonna stop with despawn. Nope. I think that Atlas is gonna make it over here, unfortunately. Oh, we got rid of him. Nice. Stay on your sides, punks. Yeah, I'm gonna try to conserve health if I can, but I'm not going to try to waste my time setting up chain attacks on these guys, but anyway, we got through that pretty fine. But this next part will be difficult. This area doesn't change regardless of difficulty. Okay, I know I smashed that extra joy button here. Oh, that Andori trying to grab me! Oh, from downtown too. Just getting ready to grab him. Yeah, there's frame storage issues. Believe it or not, in this game, the Andoris are actually more tame than they were in the first one, actually. So I'm trying to save up my hand strength for later for Infinite, so we're gonna have to resort to this. Yeah, for some odd reason the inputs just get eaten like there's a hidden input muncher in this game, obviously. But anyway, we wiped out that Andori, so we're going to be moving on to the main boat here. Pick up this Ginryu side. That's going to protect us from these Roberts and Leons for a bit. Eventually, we will have to deal with them. Alright, so that was pretty good. Luckily, they didn't leap at us a whole lot. They do have female counterparts. I think it's Mary and Eliza, I believe. Ooh, we at least got rid of 2 of them. But that Andori is still here, unfortunately. Let's rope all these guys to one side. Hey, what is going on here? Ah! My infinite got knocked down there. Darn it. It would be nice if I had some commentators. This would be a lot more easier for me to do the game and focus on the run rather than trying to commentate everything. Commentating is still something I'm trying to get into, but just haven't found any opportunities to do commentary. But anyway, we're moving on to this next part right here. We're going to try to beat up all the enemies coming up. Thank you for lining yourselves up, man. Here's your reward from the mayor of Metro City. I mashed probably too fast there. Yeah, I gotta make sure I keep my health intact for the Fiber Loto. Yeah, that's not a very easy elevator fight to get through pretty quickly on expert difficulty. So anyway, we're coming up to Relento. Our main goal is to pretty much restrict his movement. So hopefully we'll get this out of the way. So if he goes for the walls, we'll use our special. Then just punish him for anything he does, pretty much. Technically, we want him to thrust his rod at us, but that's not going to be happening. And he wound up throwing me, which is now going to be a problem. So don't be surprised if we have to take deaths. Yeah, that was not... That was what I was expecting for the most part. But anyway, now that we got a full health bar, we'll set up some more stalling tactics. So if he goes for the wall jumps, just focus mostly on using your lariat. That will counter it. And if he breaks out, just do the best you can to get him back on that wall. Alright, so we're on this final part right here. When he gets to his final health bar, he'll start throwing the grenades. Where they land depends where your character's last stayed. So if you're on the upper planes, most of them will go down there, go up there instead of all over the stage. Alright, we got a little bit more to go with whittling down Relino's HP, and we got him. Alright, we're moving on to round 6. We chased Haggar all over Europe, and we're back to Asia, this time to Japan, back at Maki's home country. And we're going to invade the Haggar base here. Let's try to get rid of these two here. Ooh, at least one of them went down. Dang it, how did he grab me from there? Yeah, I was trying to sup an infinite and that just got eaten. Yeah, it's very hard to set up proper fighting plans against these blockers. These guys are going to be all over the place throughout the entire stage, I might add. Yeah, these guys are just not playing nice today. Like I said before, it's very difficult to set up an infinite with blockers. It's not like I don't want to, it's just if I'm not fast enough, they will set up their defenses again. That's not good. Whoa, all three of them jumped. Alright, we're gonna get him to get hit by that landmine. We're gonna do the infinite on him. Whew, this is gonna be a pretty wild stage 6. So if we were doing this a marathon run, this would be a good place for donations. This is gonna take forever to just whittle down the Andori Jr.'s health. Like I said before, easy or normal is probably the ideal mode to speedrun this game, because you don't have to worry about having to deal with damage reduction on hard and expert. So anyway, we're going to be hurrying on over here. Normally I would need an audio cue to see if the Elic got past. Unfortunately, he wound up doing that, just that. Now sometimes the body splash can be an excellent defense tool, but it doesn't always work. This is also another method you can use against the Atlases and Johnnies. So we got another dumb Andori to deal with. The last enemy is the Elic. This enemy formation does not change regardless of difficulty. But technically the ultimate goal right there was to set up a despawn, but unfortunately they wound up breaking through that, obviously. Alright, the Elic is gone, so we can now whittle down this Andori right here. Don't be surprised if we take a lot of deaths here, at least in this stage. Thank you for not leaving at me, Robert. Forget about the infinites, especially when you're dealing with the Atlas. Now all of his backup's gone, we can wipe him out. Now, the barbecue normally restores our health completely, but it only refills almost, probably 95% of it. Yeah, I got inflicted with an undertow there. Alright, my apologies for the silence. I do have to focus here. Would be good if I had a commentator to help me out on those parts. Whoa, he just chest bumped me like no tomorrow there. Alright, the Leon's gone. Now we can focus our energies on wiping out this Endori Jr. right here. The Endori Jr., regardless of the difficulty in this spot, is probably going to eat up the most of your time. Especially on the hard and expert difficulties. But anyway, we're moving on. We do have 5 enemies to deal with, and we're going to focus mostly our energies on eliminating this this batch right here before we fight the Endoris. So we don't have to deal with them at the same time we have to fight them. Get some extra damage right there. Now we're gonna set these guys up here. Luckily, they decided to group right there pretty nicely. So we're gonna do the infinite on these guys and just pray that I don't drop the infinite. Because it's gonna be frightening. Because I had one of them do a pile driver on me in the past. Because PJ, who used to do speed runs, who made a big name in the AGDQ, so pretty much claimed that the Endoris in this game don't do pile drivers. And I had to do a highlight to prove that that is so not true. Right now I'm conserving health right now, because we do have more enemies coming up. Alright, we're gonna pin this Endori right here. Man, this whole area takes up way too much time on this difficulty. I'll be lucky if I'll make it underneath an hour right now. My world record for this category is actually around 55 minutes. This takes freaking forever just to do this because of the Endoris. Woo! Phew! I made it through. Alright, we're coming up to Blocker's Hallway, and this is where things really start picking up in difficulty for this area. First order of business is get rid of these guys. Unfortunately, I got hit while I was holding Elliot, so that was my fault there. So, usually jump attacks are probably the best ideal to fight these guys most of the time, but grapple strikes are going to be your high damage dealers. Ooh, how did that happen? So if they do decide to block, you can always move forward and then hit down or up the opposite direction of forward. And I have no idea how these guys are still doing that, despite going for extra joys. If you have to, just use jump attacks if you don't feel confident, but technically we want to get through these guys pretty quickly. Explain to me how that happened! Already 2 lives are lost on this stupid hallway. Well, at least we got Johnny out of the way. Oh, come on, that guy was 1 hit away from going down. Well, I'm not surprised. Experts, when you could say, forget about saving lives, it's time to really get down to being business here. Ooh, that was good. Yeah, you do have to be careful when jumping towards Helix, because these guys do very high damage in expert mode, especially against airborne opponents, I think. Alright, we got through that group. That was good. At least we didn't lose too many lives. I don't think so, Robert. I do know you're going to recover from that. Dang, he ripped through my defense? Man, I thought I was further up than that. Oh, come on! Dude! Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't outburst a whole lot, but sometimes it's just ridiculous at what happens here. Of course, I do a little bit more better job at the marathons in general, because I do try to keep my emotions in check for the most part. But anyway, now that we got past that part, we're going to be moving on to the 6-4. But yeah, Blocker's Hallway is not very kind. That's why I call it that as such. And my D-pad just did not want to turn. Man, I meant to do a throw and I couldn't even do that in time. What is going on here? Alright, this should be the last wave. Interesting to note is that the when you're fighting the Joes come out in higher difficulties, or any difficulty in general, they always station themselves at least one plane. Two of them will stay on one plane for that part. The other comes on the other one. Now we're setting up a despawn coming up, and that's to get rid of Johnny coming up. Now we want to get rid of the Leons, so that comes first. Alright, that takes care of him. We're going to whittle down this Endori Jr. to the best of our abilities. Whew. Man, that was close. Come on, don't be lagging behind, Haggar. We didn't go there fast enough. We didn't get the despawn, unfortunately. So now we gotta deal with this Mick here, in addition to these guys. But at least the good news is we got rid of the Johnny that would have normally came out here. Yeah, it's like my D-pad just wants to give out completely, obviously. Yikes! We got 2 Helix in the house! Let's wipe them all out. I don't think so, Atlas. Alright, at least we got that Johnny. We need that Atlas over here. But yeah, I wish there was a faster way to deal with those guys, because unfortunately, even after all these years of discovering new stuff for Final Fight 2, we still have not found a easier way to deal with dealing with the blockers. It's not like we haven't found anything new, it's just very hard, because those guys love to stick by you and mirror all of your movements. You know what? Forget the infinites. I want that Atlas gone. I want to use a little bit of vortex trapping here. Now we just wipe out this last one right here. Whoo! Wow, we're actually underneath 55 minutes for once. That's a first. This might be world record if everything goes according to plan with Ratu here. Since we can't infinite Ratu, we're going to have to use chain throws to do most of our damage. We do want to save our health for the near end of it, though. So anyway, Ratu, you need to really respect his space, especially when he recovers. You just don't know what he's going to do. He's very unpredictable. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with any minions to fight. But at the same time, you do not want to be in front of him. Because if you get too close to him when he recovers, he's going to start hitting you with spin kicks and punches. They do pretty hefty damage. So anyway, we're just going to be throwing him around like a sack of potatoes for the most part. Now, someone claimed Ratu's actually the one wrestler from Saturday Night Slam Fest, or whatever it's called. Or Slam Masters, actually. Alright, there we go. This is the general ideal for the fight with final life bar with Ratu. Oh yeah! 44! Yes! Oh man, that was good. I mean, we did have mistakes, but that was a very good run. I wish Nightmare James was here because I now have proof that I can show him that I have gotten this underneath an hour. Alright, that was very well done. So anyway, completing this game on Expert difficulty gives you the full ending. So if you play any of them in the lowest difficulty, you would just get credits. If you played it on normal, you would get the part where Maki reunites with her family. If you play this on normal, you would pretty much get, I mean, hard, you'd probably get the scene with Haggar and Carlos, and then Rina right there. And then when you beat this game on Expert difficulty, you get to see the contents of that letter that gets shown right here in a minute. Ugh. And thank goodness I did not, have to, hit pause during that whole run. Looks like I redeemed myself there. Alright, once we get done with that ending, we're going to probably do a small check on speedruns.com to see the world record for this category. But yeah, this is the letter that was written to Guy, obviously. And there we have it. There's Guy. He's on his way back to Japan. Thanks, my friends. I owe you one. Don't worry, Rina. I will be home soon. Thanks to Haggar and Co., we managed to save Guy a great deal of grief. And of course, you get all the character portrait screens for being in with all three characters. So that's Expert mode in a nutshell, pretty much.